Hey all, do you ever feel like, well, if I change my career, I don't know how I'm going to make it because I'm not going to be starting out at high wage. I'm just going to be starting out from the bottom. And everything's so expensive now, and it's hard to find a job as it is already. But I do want to change my career, or I want to get on social media, but I'm just a little discouraged because it's hard to start over. Well, if you ever have those feelings, I'm going to help you today and give you some of my advice of how I changed my career from healthcare to finance, and how I started over in my career in my younger 20s. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how to do that in this video. So stay tuned for that. Well, I can relate to a career change or having to start over in your career, or maybe in your job status that you're in now, or maybe you're thinking about going to a different department or going to a different type of business. So the key to that is that sometimes you do have to start over to essentially make more money in the long run. And the way to do that is to either talk to someone in your friend circle or your family or in business, or someone that you know, a contact person that you may know from the past, and ask them if they know anyone that's hiring in the industry that you want to work in. And a lot of times they will have positions open, but they will be part-time or entry level. But the way to get experience is to not only taking a leap of faith and trying something new, even if it means less pay. Sometimes you have to take that role just to get the experience that you need. Or two, when you do have to change careers, you do have to start at entry level anyway. And so the way you do that is you get experience. So yes, you take that lower wage at that job, and then you work there for a year and get experience. Okay, so number 3, as you pivot out of that role, now you're going to reach out to staffing agencies and your recruiting service to try to find a role in the industry that you just learned entry level at, and try to find a higher paying job, because now you have 1 years of experience. So number 1 is you take a leap of faith, you get out of your comfort zone, and you go to that new career or that new industry or that new business that you want to work in, even if it's social media. So you get on your platform and you start posting. And then number 2, you're going to work your way up and get experience for about a year, and you're going to be confident. You're going to learn everything you can for a year. You're going to take lower wage, and you're going to have to maybe work 2 jobs or maybe have support of family until you're able to pivot into number 3. And then now you have more experience at that job. You reach out to recruiters, you be really patient, take your time while you're still in your entry level role to find a better role who'll pay you more for your experience now. And I'm going to let you know exactly how I did this. So back in my early 20s, I was a nurse aide, I was a CNA. And if you want to be a nurse, you do have to start as a CNA, only because it gives you experience. It helps you understand if that's the industry that you want to be in. Just like in any industry, if you want to work in the car business or in the sales business or in the food industry, first you have to start bussing tables, maybe doing oil changes, anything that field you want to get paid in a higher wage in. You need to start from the bottom to learn everything on the way up. And the more experience you have, the more likely you are to get a higher paying job. And even if you are competing with some people that have come out from college in that industry, as I did. So what I did is I had networked with some people at church, and there was somebody that needed help in their office. It was actually a subcontractor of the business owner who said that their business partner needed help. So I went to the office, I interviewed with him, and he was only paying $9. Okay, sorry, I got cut off, so I'm going to start from here. So the business owner, I went and interviewed with him, and he was only paying $9 an hour to be an office assistant. And I was going to learn sales, bookkeeping. I was going to learn payroll, how to schedule, and everything like that, and customer service. And $9 an hour back then was probably comparable to $15 now. Actually less than minimum wage back then. It was less than minimum wage. So I worked there for about a year and a half, and my rent was low at the time. So that's why I said definitely find a family member or a friend, or find a second job that you can do until you can support yourself, because you are going to get paid less at entry level. And so it's going to be hard to survive, right? So you're just going to have to find ways to budget and to make ends meet the best way that you can. And so I asked him for a raise after 1.5 years, and he couldn't give me a raise. I think he was going to bump it up $2 an hour. So what I did at that point, now that I had 1 year of experience, so I reached out to a staffing agency, and because I had the experience that I had, they were able to get me a job getting paid $5 to $8 more an hour. And so as I started working with the agency as a contractor, that's where I learned all my experience in accounting. So that's how I worked my way up and actually changed my industry. I wanted to change my career, so that's why I looked into asking friends or people around me if they knew anyone that was hiring or needed help, because I wanted to be in a different industry that wasn't so demanding, and that's what I did. Yeah, so I'm glad I made the change, and I'm here to let you know that you can do it too if you're looking to change your career or your position or move to a different department or a different industry. You can very well do it, even if you are entry level, as long as you're in a position to be able to afford an entry level position or make way to maybe supplement your income with a second job or anything like that. Have family help you. You can most definitely do it. We all have to start from somewhere, and we have to learn and grow. So step 1, get out of your comfort zone. And I know change is hard, but go ahead and do that. And number 2, you learn and you grow. Even if you do 6 months, that's still experience. I recommend 1 year, but even if you get 6 months at that entry level role, and then you can pivot to the role that you want and make higher pay, and you can just let them know you have experience now and you're looking to learn and to grow in the position. I have interview questions back here on my playlist. I'll put it here, where you can learn interviewing skills so that you can apply for that higher role that you're looking for and higher pay. And I know change is hard. It really is for everyone. But at the time, I was able to do it because I was able to still support myself. And so I stuck with it for, I think it was almost 1.5 years, and I just did it. And I knew that at the time I was going to learn more skills to make higher pay eventually. So yes, you have to think about the long-term goals that you have, and we're all trying to make a living and survive out here, so I totally feel you on that. And change is hard. However, if you're willing to change and make that move, it's going to be better in the long run for you. So I'm here to tell you that it is worth the challenge of starting over and starting from the beginning at entry level, and someday you will be making more money as long as you learn your way up and everything like that. So you take care. I hope these 3 pointers helped you today, and that you're having a good rest of your day. If you want to leave me any questions in the comments below, please do so, and I will be glad to answer them there. Take care. You are great. See you later.